back, everybody. Now that we have our inventory sorted out, we can go into the underground jungle. And as I said, we are looking for three things. The first of which is going to be a new ore that has started growing. It's called Chlorophyte. It is bright green and it glows, which makes it easy to find. Well, you know what? No, it does not glow. Spelunker potions might be nice, but it's still pretty easy to find just because of the way that the jungle is laid out. We're also going to be looking for life fruit, which will increase our health by another 100 points once we have found 20 of them. They are consumable just like the life crystals are, and each one will increase each heart container by 5 points. So it's pretty minor health increase, but as we get into the harder stages of the game, every last little bit is going to be welcome. I'm also going to chop down some of these trees because we need to make a house in the underground jungle. Because once we kill the boss of the underground jungle, our witch doctor friend will sell us a very nice set of armor that we do not want to miss. But he only sells it to you when he lives in the underground jungle. So we're going to set that up now to make sure he's nice and moved in before we get to that point. Well, here's some chlorophyte. So you can see it's this green stuff. Is that glowing in the dark? No, not really. But it is pretty shiny, so it's not hard to find it. Now, chlorophyte is a unique ore. It's unique in that it grows. It grows in mud. So it's not a terrible idea to leave one piece left and then patch the area back in with mud. And then you can come back a little while later and that chlorophyte chunk will have grown into another large vein of ore again. Otherwise you have to wait for it to naturally grow. And when you are attempting to collect lots of it, it can take a long time. But being able to set up something of a farm for it, that really helps a lot. And here we found our first chunk of life fruit. You probably saw the plant that was sitting there. You just hit it with any weapon to knock it free. And then you use it just like you would a heart crystal. And then you can see here we have this one gold heart. That's a heart that's got the life fruit effect on it. So this heart is worth 25 hit points instead of just 20. So when we're done, all of our hearts will be gold. So this is a Plantera bulb. Plantera is the boss of this underground jungle biome. If we break this bulb, it will summon that boss. And we're not ready to do that just yet, but we want to keep in mind where we found it so we can get back to it real easy when we are ready. Additionally, these cannot be crafted. It is possible to set up a certain kind of farm to control where they spawn, but for the most part, you're just going to have to go out and find them. Personally, I have not ever set up a farm for them, just because I kind of enjoy the challenge of finding them. But just be aware of that. We're going to at least get most of our hearts upgraded before we try and take it on. It is a much more challenging fight than the mechanical bosses. We're also going to try and craft some chlorophyte items. Yeah, it takes 6 chlorophyte ore to make 1 chlorophyte bar, so that huge stack we only got 23 chlorophyte bars. We got a spear, got a claymore, saber, shot bow, warhammer. It's a very high damage hammer, jackhammer, great axe, chainsaw, pickaxe, which is 200% axe power, 200% pickaxe power. It could possibly be faster, but we don't need it. We can mine the ore we need with our jacks there. What I'm really interested in is the armor. Unfortunately, it is a melee set of armor though. Melee or ranged. Or no, sorry. It does have a magic element. So we need 12, 18, that's 30. And I don't have enough to craft the chest piece, which is probably going to be another 25. So this is going to take a while. But chlorophyte can be combined with things such as arrows and bullets to give them interesting properties. I know chlorophyte with bullets will cause the bullets to home in on things, and that's kind of cool. You'll also notice that I'm going well out of my way to kill these turtles. That is because the turtles have a chance to drop an item that is one of the highest defense armors in the game. It is solely for melee builds, but it's good to get nonetheless. And as I've mentioned a few times before, on your first playthrough I recommend trying all different play styles to see what you like. Melee, ranged, magic, everything. Also, they just dropped a really nice yo-yo. Check that out. Yeah, so that patch right there was almost enough to make 3 bars. That's how crazy this ore is. But they make it like this on purpose. It is one of the key ingredients for a lot of the best armors in the game, and so it makes sense that they would want it to be somewhat difficult to collect. There's another mimic. It's funny, when you aren't looking for them, they show up everywhere. Alright, how about now? Suitable. Alright, so we find our witch doctor, park him in there, and in the near future he'll move in and magically teleport into our jungle. it is, my last life. So I'm up to 500 hit points now. I've got my Chlorophyte armor on. And so we're basically ready to take on the boss, Plantera. And I found quite a few Plantera bulbs throughout the jungle. So finding a bulb is not going to be difficult. But we do need to find a bulb and find a place close by that we can fight them. And we also need to return to base, craft a few potions that are going to help us out. So let's go take care of that. Alright, so this will probably be the bulb that we use. Some of the first Plantera we fight. The question is, where do we want to fight them? This looks pretty good right here. Yeah, if we just kind of carve this up a little bit, make it a little bit wider, then this will work. Yeah, I think this will probably be a big enough area to fight them in. So now all we need is flat places to store our health regen items. Probably towards the top of the area, I'd imagine would be best. Because we will try and remain airborne as much as possible during this fight. So we'll take our potions and get this fight started. Alright, now the boss itself is this large plant, and it kind of climbs around with these huge hooks, and then it will fire these projectiles at you. So as long as we keep moving in a large circle, then it'll have a hard time hitting us. Now it's entered its second form. It has smaller tendrils that reach out for you, and it does a lot more damage during this phase. So just as with the first phase, we just want to keep moving, keep hitting it with our hardest weapons, and as long as you keep moving around them in a circle, doesn't matter what kind of weapon setup you have, whether you're melee or magic or ranged fighter, this is the key. You just want to keep moving around them in a circle. And that's it. So he dropped a thorn hook, which may or may not be better than the tendon hook. Let's try that out. So it's got 3 possible hooks to it. Same as the tendon hook. I think it has a little bit better range though, so we'll stick with that one. It always drops a temple key, which is required to unlock this door and get into your, well, it's called the temple, but a lot of people refer to it as the Jungle's dungeon, or yeah, it has a lot of different names. Also, a new NPC has moved in, and we now have all the NPCs moved in. We also got a grenade launcher. That's something that the cyborg NPC that just moved in, that's something that he sells, is different types of grenades, different kinds of rockets. He didn't drop the one item I was hoping he would drop, and that is something called the Pixie Staff. So I'm tempted to fight him again before we go into the jungle, or into the dungeon here. So I'll go ahead and unlock the door just so we get rid of that key. let's go ahead and fight him one more time. Because it's not a rare drop. And something called a pygmy staff. So once you have the pygmy staff, our witch doctor NPC will sell us the I believe it's called the Tiki armor. And the Tiki armor is very good armor if you like to summon minions. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to break this Plantera bulb here, and then we're going to lure him back over to that arena. So we can see him moving in from right there. We're just going to tank the hit, rush past him. So we want to keep our distance, but not too far. We don't want him to get so far away that he despawns. And while we are traveling, we can use our different magic items to continue to deal damage to him along the way. There we go. Got my pygmy stuff. So this summons pygmies. They do a little bit more damage than our, what do you call them, our summoned eyeball guys, the twins, but you only get one of them. They don't have the bum rush melee attack that one of the twins has. So we're gonna stick with the twins, but having a pygmy staff on you is part of the requirement for him to sell you the Tiki armor set. And it's not cheap. It looks like it takes 1.5 platinum to buy it, but if you like doing the minion thing, then this is mandatory. You definitely want to get this set along with some of the accessories that he sells there. Now, this temple is very dangerous. It has much stronger traps than everywhere else you've been. It has these super dart traps. You have to watch along the ceiling for these spiky ball traps. And you definitely want to harvest these and take with you. They're very valuable for setting up your own auto farms. So the key here really is to take it slow. Since the traps deal so much damage and the monsters are pretty tough, you definitely want to take your time. There you see firsthand how the spiky ball trap works. Deals a lot of damage. These lizard power cells, those are what you need to summon the boss. They spawn, or you find them in the chest, and they're also a rare drop from all these different type of lizard monsters. There was a flame trap, another nasty one. Most common is going to be those spiky ball traps. The ones that you really want are haven't seen it yet. I think they're called spear traps, but they're lined along the ceiling, and they do the most damage that a trap can do. So a lot of the better farms are set up with those kind of traps. At the end of each jungle temple, there's a large room with an altar in it, and the altar is used to summon the boss. But before you do, you want to go around and remove all of the traps. Okay, I think we're ready. So we're gonna make good use of our passive attack items and activate it. So this one has the two fists. The fist will fly out and try and hit you, and the head will spit fireballs that bounce around. I'm pretty sure we want to destroy the fist first. I think if we do not destroy the fist first, then they continue to be a problem when he switches to his next form. As he takes damage, you can see he starts firing lasers out of his eyes. And that's when you really want to start staying mobile. Fists are gone. He's firing lasers like crazy. Gotta keep my health up. Now we've broken the head free. So now the head will fly around, continue to shoot at us, while the body jumps about, tries to smash us. The head can no longer take damage at this point, so it's just a matter of staying mobile, dodging everything, continuing to damage the body. That's it. So we got Possessed Hatchet, very nice boomerang, fires very quickly. We also got Beetle Husks, which is an ingredient in making one of the better melee armor sets in the game. I believe it's the best. I don't know. Depends on who you ask, I suppose. But that's it for the two jungle bosses. Now, after you kill Plantera, a number of things change in the world. Each biome will have a small chance of dropping a biome-specific key that unlocks the chests in the dungeon. And also the dungeon itself now has much tougher enemies that drop some very good items. And the underworld also has much tougher enemies now. So, I believe next thing we ought to do, head back to base and see what we can build with these materials that have dropped. And then we will probably head over to the dungeon. Summons the eclipse. Oh, okay. So, these solar tablet fragments that drop everywhere, and combine 8 of them together, that'll summon a event. The solar eclipse event that has lots of tough monsters, but the monsters drop very good things. So that's something we might want to do. And we can use Beetle Husk to create the Beetle Armor, which requires Turtle Armor. And Turtle Armor requires the, where'd it go? The Turtle Shell, which drops from the turtles in the underground jungle. So, there's a few more things that Plantera can drop. He can drop the axe, which is a guitar axe. It is the, at least before the 1.3 update, it was the best axe in the game. I don't know if that remains true today. Yeah, so I'm just going to clean up my inventory a bit, and then we'll call this an episode. The next time we'll head over to the new and much tougher dungeon and see what it has in store for us. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.